I'm here with
Samantha Peo.
And you play?
I'm playing the part of Velma Kelly in Chicago at the Montecasino Teatro, and we're playing until the end of May.
That's awesome. So what is Velma Kelly? What type of character is she?
Velma Kelly is actually an ex-burlesque dancer, and she has been a star her whole life with her sister, Veronica, and her husband Charlie travels around with her, and they have this whole little duo, double act, sister act that they perform. And one night they're at the hotel after the show in Hotel Cicero, and she leaves the hotel room to get some ice for their drinks, and she comes back to find that Veronica and Charlie are doing number 17 from their routine, which is the spread eagle. And so she completely flips, and she kills them both. Done. And she realizes that, she blacks out for a moment, realizes, oh my gosh, I've got blood on my hands. I've killed them. Little evil witch. In the best sense. It's comedy, musical theatre, dark comedy, lovely, wonderful. She gets arrested and off she goes to jail, Cook County. And she spends her time there, but what she finds is that she becomes notorious for this crime that she's committed, even more so than the fame that she had when she was a burlesque performer. So she's the queen of the cell block until Miss Roxy Hart comes along and nestles her way in and finds her lawyer, which is Velma Kelly's lawyer, and suddenly they pit it against each other for the king honcho of the cell block tango. And so it becomes this tussle between Roxy Hart and Velma Kelly.
And tell me, so I've known that playing a baddie is almost too awesome for people. So tell me a little bit about playing this character, putting yourself into this role.
The brilliance of the writing is Bob Fosse, and is just incredible in that you end up liking these women because you realize that they are just like you. They're just women who have snapped, who've lost their minds through passion and performed a crime of passion. They can't help themselves, and during the show you actually realize that the writing is so brilliant that you can absolutely identify with them. To your horror and amazement, you identify with them, and they're very sexy, very real. And you suddenly go, oh my gosh, actually I could be in that situation, or could I, or what would I have done if I was in that situation? And also you must remember it's a time, a context where it was very much about, freedom of expression, women coming into their own. There was jazz and liquor, baby. It was all about that. Women coming into their own, no longer wearing, tight corsets and clothing. It was like freedom and jazz clubs and suddenly it was just underground sort of bootlegging stuff. Everything that was happening was a call of the times. And so it's almost like a Me Too movement happening then. And that's why I find it incredible that it is almost really more relevant even today. So I think the audience finds themselves drawn in. They're identifying with these women. The men themselves are finding these women incredibly sexy and attractive, and at the same time horrified because they've killed men, So it's done in a way that the audience can really relate.
So you would say that the women of these times in this show is actually quite powerful. They have more of a powerful character, and they would relate to nowadays where women are, becoming more independent. And
yes, definitely. Okay. I feel that sort of Me Too movement, we call it a Me Too movement now, but I feel like through time, history repeats itself again and again. It just happens in different guises. So the same way there was sort of a revolution of freedom in the 60s with sexual liberation, and women also, again, feeling like, they're wanting to be equal. So civil rights, all that kind of stuff as well, women's rights. It happens again and again. We almost, as a consciousness of the world, we go through different changes and levels of awakening. And so I think this Me Too movement, as much as people might see it as, sort of contentious or conflicting or whatever the case is, there is definitely an awakening that's happening. So it's a teaching. It's a way of teaching society to look deeper into an issue.
Brought in an amazing, awesome production with lovely numbers.
Absolutely.
And amazing dresses. Well,
stunning.
Outfits.
Stunning. Yes, costumes. Amazing.
So we
costumes.
can't wait to see it from tomorrow night. Until then?
Until, I think it's a 20-something of
26th of May. 26th of May?
26th of May.
26th of May, hey?
End of May.
So it's about the
It's end of May.
At the Teatro and Montecasino. Thank you so much for your time, Samantha.
Thank you.
And I'm from I Love ZA.
Velma out. I Love ZA.
Awesome.